Hello, everyone. Good morning to you from my end. I'm excited to be joining us today for these wonderful conversations. It's always very, very exciting whenever we're able to come together to have these purposeful, wonderful conversations about learning so that we can continue to grow on this space. If you're hearing my voice, say something in the chat. Oh, I see. Annie is the first person to be here. Annie, thank you for coming. Always feel blessed to learn from Dr. Amaka and friends. We are excited to have you here as the first person to come into our show today. If you come into the room, please feel free to let me know so I can shout you out and we can get the conversation started. Usually, we try to keep our events at 1 hour 15 minutes. Sometimes 1 hour, but no longer than 1 hour 30 minutes. That's the dream. The dream is that 1 hour 30 minutes we're already stretching it because it's not about the length of the conversation, it's about the quality of the discussions. And I believe that most of the people in my space, or the people I even want in my space, are people who are really busy. So I don't want to kind of hold them up for hours on end. So we can have the conversation, keep it on topic, and make progress. So before we keep going, I'm going to pass it on to my co-pilot, my dear Dr. Augusta, so she can introduce herself. I introduce myself. We introduce Scholar of Mentoring Academy, and we'll bring in our wonderful speakers who are already at the backstage right now, excited and really ready to get the conversation started. Dr. Augusta.
Hello, everybody. Just before you guys join, let me give you guys a little bit of a secret. Amaka said something. Amaka was already dropping gems before we started. She said, "You are who you say you are." So to introduce myself, I am Ambassador Augusta, Ambassador of Education Technology.
It's not easy.
Yeah, so I'm a medical doctor, turned education consultant, and turning into an edtech innovator. I love volunteering in line with the topic. I've volunteered for several years, and I'm currently volunteering and working with Amaka Ife Juba in Scholar of Mentoring Academy. As you can see, I'm the senior executive administrator and the co-host of this event. Um, I'm also studying in France expert, and I help international students who want to be guided to study in France. What else? There's so much to know about me, but if you want to know more about me, obviously follow me and engage my content, and we can pick up from there. Thank you for coming, and I'm looking forward to the exciting conversations we're gonna have.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Dr. Augusta. It's always excited, and I'm really honored to have you here with me co-hosting this amazing show that we were able to go from audio transition to video and now having a lot of fun. Like I'm having a lot of fun with the videos because we can always go back to rewatch it to get back to these nuggets, which was not possible when we were doing audio events. So let me shout out to the people who are joining us. I see Eremosele. Eremosele is here. He says, "We are live." Yes, we are. Thank you for coming in, Eremosele. We appreciate you for being here. And then I see my Ibironke, who is a busy bee. My Ibironke has been very, very busy. My Ibironke, thank you for making out the time for joining us. We are excited to have you here. Thank you so much for being here and for always showing your support. It means a lot to us. Precious Nnaji says she's glad to be here. Can you all tell me where you are joining us from? I always want to see the spread, the demography. That makes me really happy. So if you can type on the chat where you're joining from, you would be making my evening, making my afternoon, making my morning, wherever you're joining from, right? That's the beauty of the world, that we're all over the place. Professor Roxana, I know she's joining from South Carolina in the US. Welcome, Prof. Thank you for always being here. And then we see Caroline. She says, "Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. You are all that and more." Yes, Dr. Augusta, definitely. She's all that and more. She's who she says she is. That's it. No, no cha dear. Exactly who she says she is. That's who she is. Elijah says he's glad to be here. And then we'll see Apata. Let me go with the second name. The first one is a bit heavy. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Where are you joining us from? Let us know where you're joining us from. Beta says it's a pleasure to be here. Hello to you too. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you for being in our midst. Oh, we do have a lot of people who are here. Thank you for being so early. We have Oh, hello from Paris too. See your people, Dr. Augusta. Okay, that's nice. That's really good. Thank you for coming. We see someone from Nigeria. Where in Nigeria? Nigeria is so big. So tell me where in Nigeria. That's nice. Thank you for coming, Faith. It's good to have you here. We have Chika from Nigeria. Yes, we're in Nigeria. Ikenna from Nigeria. We have okay, Professor Roxana. Yeah, she says South Carolina, and then we have Habib from Abuja, Nigeria. So that's more specific. And then someone else from Lagos, Nigeria. Festus says Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you all for coming. As we continue the show, I'll keep saying hello and answer your question. At any point, if you have a question, do put it in the chat. So I tend to monitor everything. If you see me looking in that direction, it's because I'm looking at the chat, right? I'm trying to see what is going on in the chat. So my name is Dr. Amaka Ifeduba. If you don't know me, I suppose you do, but just in case someone else comes into the show and they don't know who I am, I'm the founder and lead coach of Scholar Up Mentoring Academy. And career-wise, I work in the agricultural industry. So I finished my PhD. I used to love to say I just finished my PhD, but I finished my PhD in December. So I no longer just finished it in horticulture from Texas A&M University. And actually, Scholar Up was born while I was still getting my PhD. And I started sharing on LinkedIn, started last year. And it was just born from the burden of the questions people were asking me, right? You know, people asked me questions on how to come to the United States for grad school. I'm from Nigeria. So that's how Scholar Up came, from grad school mentoring. And then we realized that it's not enough for people to just know how to package the application. They also need to learn how to market themselves, how to position themselves for the right opportunities, how to build their confidence, how to learn skills that makes it easy for them to be selected from a pool of so many. So Scholar Up have kind of evolved to not just be focused on graduate school mentoring, to also helping professionals to build their personal brand here on LinkedIn, their personal brands and businesses, really showing up with integrity, showing up with purpose, understanding that for visibility to be sustainable, it has to be strategic, it has to be meaningful. So it's not just about being visible, it's about being memorable for the right thing and being visible to the right audience. So I'm not going to go on and on. I'm going to play a quick video from Scholar Up Mentoring Academy, and then I'll bring in our guest speakers. Like I said, we are always looking at the time because we want to have the best conversations, enjoy our learning within a specified period of time. So thank you so much for coming in today. Let me just go ahead and play that video while the guest speakers get ready to come on stage.
Success begins with the right guidance and opportunities. And at Scholar Up Mentoring Academy, we are here to help you unlock your full potential. Whether you're preparing for graduate school applications or building a standout professional presence on LinkedIn, we provide the tools and support you need to thrive. Our programs are designed to help you craft a compelling personal brand, position yourself for global opportunities, and achieve your dreams. Led by Dr. Amaka Ifeduba, a dedicated mentor and coach, Scholar Up empowers you with personalized mentoring, actionable resources, and proven strategies to take bold steps toward a brighter future. Scholar Up Mentoring Academy is more than a program. It's a community dedicated to helping you succeed. Take the first step today and discover how we can guide you on your journey to greatness. Follow our page for updates and access all our resources at linktree.com/scholarupacademy. Your success story starts here.
Okay, so that is that about Scholar Up in brief. Like I mentioned, two key focus areas, which is grad school mentoring and then building a strategic personal brand, right? So that's what we do. So while I was talking, I saw a lot of people have really come into the room again, and I want to say hello to you before we just get started. So I'm going to use 1 minute to say hello to all the beautiful people that have come in. Caroline is joining from Nairobi, Kenya. Wow, that's beautiful. I have a friend from Kenya. And then we have someone, Lynn is joining us from Polly in oh God, I don't want to bite my tongue. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. It's so good to have you here. And then we have, okay, from Abuja, Nigeria. Yes, thank you for coming. Oh, Temi Tope, it's been a while from the UK. Thank you so much for making out the time. It's so beautiful to have you here. Patrick is joining from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you for coming. We have another person from Lagos. Anna is joining us from Ghana. Wow, that's good. Thank you for joining. We have Sasha. Sasha is joining from Jamaica. Wow, thank you so much for coming. One of my best friends is from Jamaica. She's such a wonderful person. So thank you so much for coming. Eremosele says Dr. A and Dr. A. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for. It's actually Dr. AI, right? Both of us are Dr. AI, which is so cool. I think it's really, really so cool that both of us have the same initial. So the universe knew we were supposed to meet. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. So we have both of our speakers backstage. I'm going to bring them in right now while I just give a brief introduction of who they are, which they are not really strangers, right? If you've been on LinkedIn, then you probably know the both of them really well because they are quite active on LinkedIn. So I'm going to start from Ambassador Emeka Christian, who I'm really excited and honored to have joined me on my stage for, I think maybe the first time as an invited guest. He's really been in Scholar Up since from the very beginning of Scholar Up, volunteering, and he's going to share his experience. Emeka is he's a dedicated advocate for youth empowerment. So you see that from his presence, from his posts, from everything he does. If you're not connected to him, you would learn more about him from his posts. He has over 10 years of experience in large-scale agricultural production. So everything agriculture, you want to learn about starting and scaling an agricultural business and being sustainable while you're at it. This is the guy for you. So, and I think the most exciting thing that he's actually a very dear mentee. He's a mentee who is very dear to my heart. And watching him evolve through this over 1 year of Scholar Up, it gladdens my heart. It makes me very proud. He's one of the people I say, yeah, go look at Emeka. You know. So if you want to ask me, what am I doing? I say, okay, go look at him. So he's an example of that. So welcome on the stage, Ambassador Emeka Christian. It's really an honor to have you here. And then we have another important, very, very important person who I'm also honored to have on my stage. Has a very heavy name. Like most of the time when I see the name, I'm like, this name has weight. It's like you have to take your time. Take your time to call the names, otherwise you're going to miss some syllables. So I used to take my time to look. Omobabinrin. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Welcome on the stage. We are excited to have you. If you've been on LinkedIn, then you also know.
You can call me Adeola, actually. That's
Adeola. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's
Adeola is fine.
All right. Thank you very much. I think I'll go with that. I'll go with that so I don't bite my tongue. So she's the founder of TIBA, and that's the iconic brand Africa, which they do such wonderful work with personal branding, teaching. She's an accountant by profession. And I'm going to give the both of you the opportunity to actually introduce yourself in your own word. This is just me giving a quick highlight. We are excited to have you here. There's a background noise. I don't know if it's from Emeka, Augusta, or Adeola. So thank you so much for coming on board for us to have this conversation that is not, I would say it's not a very popular topic, right? Sometimes some people don't even like hearing about volunteering. There are people who hear about volunteering and they feel like people want to use me. People have that kind of notion sometimes. They feel like volunteering their services because someone is just trying to use you because they don't want to pay you. So I brought you in as someone who has, at least for the 1 year I've been on LinkedIn, I think I've been connected to you for a while, even when you did the TIBA of last year, which I was honored to be one of the recipients of your award. That was a beautiful award. Thank you so much. I see the kind of work you do and how you coordinate people, and I feel like you're someone who has been there, done that. That's always what I look for my events. I don't want people that will come and tell me chat GPT knowledge. I want to hear from people who have actually done the work and we can learn from their own experience. And Emeka himself also does a lot of work coordinating young people founding a movement, working with me at Scholar Up, and so many other organizations. So thank you so much for coming in today. So I'm going to pass it to you, Emeka, to just give an introduction and then pass it to Adeola, and then we can jump into the discussion for the day. So Emeka, you have the floor.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Amaka and Dr. Augusta. It's a delight to be here this evening. So my name is Emeka Christian. I'll just simply say that I'm a serial volunteer. I volunteered, I keep volunteering, I keep giving my energy and all of that into causes that resonate with me. I lead the Coalition of African Youth in Modern Agriculture, where I mobilize young people to become food security champions. And of course, I do several other things in between. So that's me in brief. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Emeka. If you want to speak again, could you raise your voice a bit? I don't know if it was me, but I wasn't making out what you were saying. Yeah, thank you. So Adeola, please welcome. So could you also introduce the main highlights?
Okay. Good evening. Good evening, Dr. Amaka. Good evening, Dr. Augusta. And good evening, Emeka. Thank you so much for having me on your live this evening. My name is Omobabinrin Adeola Osideko. Like I said, Adeola is fine. You can call me Adeola. And I'm the founder of the iconic brand Africa. I'm also the lead trainer of TIBA Academy. Like she said, I'm an accountant by profession, but one way or the other, branding, personal development, and online influencing found me, and here I am today. So I have an organization called the Iconic Brand Africa, and it's powered by volunteers. So everything you're going to be hearing from me today is directly from practical experience, and I've been running this organization for 7 years now. So you can be rest assured that you're going to be hearing practical tips on my failure, the lessons I've learned on the journey, and so many other things around volunteering. Once again, thank you so much for having me. And I believe we are going to have a good time together this evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. So Ramosela was asking if you're frozen. I don't know if it's Adeola you're referring to, but we could hear her. If someone else could not hear, let us know. I'm not sure, except if it's your own network. So that's why I always look at the chat. If something is off, if you're not hearing us, please let us know. That way we can quickly go. So someone says your profile is beautiful, Emeka, so you should be proud of yourself. Thank you so much. Thank you for keeping the chat busy. So before we get started on the conversation, all of you are going to do something for me. Please help us to repost this event. Today is Saturday. Some people may just be scrolling through LinkedIn, just doom scrolling, wondering what to do with their time. We've had people who come into our events because someone reposted it, and then they come and they say, wow, we're happy that we stayed. In fact, I think it happened just last week. There was a doctor that said, I just saw this event and I came in and I'm so happy I was here. We were talking about career development last week with career coach Ore Olua. Yoruba names can be very heavy. You have to really calm down to say the names so you don't bite your tongue. Right. So help us repost, please. If you're here, I see there's a lot of people in the room. Just help us repost so that more people can come in. All right, let's get started. So Emeka, I'm going to start with you. So we're just going to have, podcast style conversation where we just have a conversation back and forth, and then Dr. Augusta will chime in her thoughts. And like I said, we'll try to keep it at 1 hour, 15 minutes so that everybody can go back to their busy Saturdays and, do other things with your life. I don't like holding people hostage, whether they're attendees or those of us who are hosting the event. So Emeka, you started and you said you are a serial volunteer. That's the first time I'm hearing that term, right? Serial volunteer. I volunteer a lot too myself, but I think you are ahead of me in that game. Actually, I volunteer a lot myself, and I saw Augusta's post too. She volunteers a lot. I saw a post that she made, and it inspired me to write a similar post, which I'm going to post next week. Just trying to recount on the journey of some of the volunteer activities that has made me this person that I am, to gain some of the capabilities that I probably would not have gained if not for those opportunities. So you have volunteered with so many organizations across sectors, right? Including with me at Scholar Up. What has kept you serving? What is the motivation, right? Because there's something that is keeping you, that you keep doing it over and over, that you can now tell yourself, I'm a serial volunteer. So what's the attraction for you?
All right. Now, confirm I'm audible enough. Am I audible enough?
Thank you.
Okay. So for me, as my name implies, Emeka Christian, and of course, I'm a Christian. So my volunteer journey began in the church. So I grew up in the church where we did a lot of communal works together in the church and, of course, for the host community. So I didn't know that I was betting in myself, a lifestyle that's going to follow me through to adulthood. So that number one is my upbringing, what my upbringing looks like. It's revolved around volunteering, community engagement, and service. Then the next thing that happened afterwards was that I began to develop a vision and a desire to, give to community. So my joy comes from, committing to causes that are bigger than myself and causes that seeks to better the lot of people around me in my community. And of course, the other motivation there is just that desire to learn. I tell people that I'm obsessed with learning. So for me, these are the very major things that are the foundations of what I do around volunteering. And another thing that also keeps me motivated is if the organization is doing stuff that has people at its center. So people-centered organizational visions are some of the things that drives me. Of course, you have the example with the Scholar of Academy, the fact that we're doing stuff that is impacting people that got me attracted, and I've been here ever since then. And of course, another thing I do is that I negotiate my value. I negotiate my pay in form of something above money. So I try to have a strong why, and that keeps me going even when it gets difficult and overwhelming. The fact that I have a why, my number one why is to commit to something that betters the community and people's life, opportunity to learn, connect, and of course to test my ideas. So that has been what powers me through the
Hey,
process.
that's interesting. Thank you for that clarity. It's not every day you see really young people who would commit to courses like you said, and just having that vision and that clarity. So that resonates a lot with me. Kudos for all the work that you do. And then Adiola, I'm just going to roll over to you. You run TIBA now. You are like you just said to us, so you've been doing it for 7 years. So that's a lot of years of experience. What strategies have you used to attract volunteers, the good ones? Because sometimes it's not about attracting the bad wagon, right? It's actually attracting people who have that vision, who would actually run with the vision with you. And then how do you retain them to keep them committed in the job that you're doing, just so that you continue to, make progress?
Okay, thank you very much. One thing is that you cannot entirely attract good volunteers. You are going to attract a mixture of good and bad. So it is when they come in that everybody starts finding their feet. It's actually very difficult to get people who are really committed to a vision. And that is why once I spot them, I don't want them to go. It's not like I am desperately tying them down, but I try to make it conducive. I try to make life easy for them, so that they don't want to go easily, because it's really not easy to get good people. So like I said, you're going to attract multitude of people. So once they get in, people start finding their feet. Like, okay, this is where I belong. But the good will stay, the bad will leave. So at the end of the day, the culture of the environment, of the work environment, let's just call it the work culture, is what will determine who will stay and who will leave. So you will retain good ants because you are genuinely interested in them, not just what they want to do for you. So that's one thing that has really stood out for me over the years. You need to be genuinely interested in people. Like, people here volunteering, what comes to mind is you want to make me to work without paying me. So, but when you now extend it beyond work, you make them understand that I'm actually interested in you as a person, not just the work you want.
I think your network is freezing. Is it mine, or is she frozen?
I'm interested in your welfare.
Yes.
I'm interested in your family. I'm interested in everything concerning. I think I have a bad network. I'll try and change it.
Yes.
So
All right.
I think that's one of the major things that has really helped me to keep people be genuinely interested in them beyond the work they want to do for your organization.
Right. That's deep. That's absolutely true. And I think for us too at Scholar of Mentoring Academy, it's really like following a similar culture where it's just about really understanding that you as a volunteer, there's something you gain from the process too. It's not about the work that you're doing. You gain something, you gain the transformation. And so that will just lead me to the next question, which is now coming back to Emeka, who has really volunteered in so many organizations, being with us at Scholar Up from day one, like from cohort 1, and this is cohort 14, rounding up, right? So you've been here from the beginning through the transitions. So I want to know, how has your volunteer experiences, how has it opened doors for international exposures or professional growth? What would you say you've benefited? I guess that's the question I'm trying to ask. What have you benefited that has kept you going on and on?
Yeah, okay. So you realize that when you started asking that question, I started grinding from ear to ear. Maybe in the coming weeks, I will tell the world why I was grinding ear to ear.
Yeah, let's keep the news.
So so what it has been for me is that you just be doing your work all along in what's the word now, in the hiding. So I've been in the hiding for a time until I came to Scholar Up Academy, and then committing to Scholar Up Academy, I made up my mind that I'm going to contribute measurable, and I'm going to contribute to traceable and measurable impact, right? Impact project. So that if I commit to this project, I'm taking count of what I'm doing. What am I doing? So that at the end of the day, I can highlight these things in my application document. Some persons get into places and they just volunteer. I tell people that volunteering is not shabby work. You must have to trace and track the work you're doing. So these are this is one strategy I embrace in trying to use my volunteer experiences to attract the opportunities that I desire, which are already rolling in. Okay, so the next thing I do, the next opportunity, or one of the things I've also benefited is the fact that I've gotten access to individuals who represent what I aspire for, both locally and internationally, locally and globally. For example, I have from the several cohorts people around the world where I can just place a call across to and say, look, I need this. Can you guide me through this? They are more than willing to do all of that. And this was because I wasn't just showing up in a community. I was showing up to contribute to the community such that my name became memorable. So I didn't need much introduction when I enter people's DMs to maybe make an ask or to have a conversation. And of course, credibility of the brands I've been associated with is another key benefit that I've gotten from here, because by the time you go through my LinkedIn handle, you begin to see who I'm working with. And I'm able to say that I'm part of a community where I'm the youngest in terms of age, achievements, academics and all of that. So that was because I gave myself to service. And some of these people have contributed in no small way in my becoming. Whatever I'm becoming, I have access to mentors who are already ahead of me. So I have access to their knowledge, to their wisdom and all of that. And one interesting thing I did, speaking about credibility, was that I hyperlinked my LinkedIn handle to my CV. Such that if I submit it anywhere, you just need to click on my LinkedIn handle. It lands you on my LinkedIn page. Then you see that my CV does not cut all the things I've done, right? So in this way, I leverage LinkedIn to access the opportunities I've been dreaming of, which, by the way, are becoming reality. Yeah, service, and of course, in service, you start gaining value by simply serving. Yep.
Thank you so much. Hopefully, before you go, you can share at least one of your testimonies. Maybe the testimonies that are fast. I know the ones in front you are still keeping. That's good. That's okay. But at least some of the ones that you have already shared already, so you could highlight some of those in my following questions, right? So I like the way you shared. I like what you talked about, which is about tracing your input. That's very important. I have reviewed hundreds and hundreds of CVs of people. In fact, this morning before this call, I had a call with an aspiring grad student, who I was mentoring. And I looked at his CV, I'm like, there's nothing in your CV that is going to make an advisor say, this is the person I want to choose. And I wasn't trying to be mean about it. I was just trying to be honest. You just have your normal academics that I graduated with a 2-1, but you are competing globally. What are those extra projects? What are those courses that you've contributed to that I will look at as a person and say, this person has gone out of their way? So thank you so much for that response. So I'm going to ask Adeola one more question, and then Dr. Augusta can give us some feedback on her thoughts so far. Augusta has a way of summarizing. All right. So I hope your network is better now. So I want to know.
Thank you.
Okay. Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you all for keeping the chat busy. I'm going to come back to the chat in a minute. So, in your view, what is the biggest win volunteers get from serving at large scale events? I know your events are really, O1 style, lots big events, lots of moving parts. So, what is the biggest gain that you would say your volunteers who have stayed with you, worked with you, delivered this event year after year? What is the biggest win for them?
Okay, so like I mentioned when I was introducing myself, we do more than events. We do learning and development, we do training, coaching, and so many other things right in. And I would say, generally speaking, for volunteers, I think they've achieved a lot. And one of it is the ability to put their experience in their CV, in their resume, to attract opportunities. I mean, I have seen a lot of them. Even this year, several people have, come back to say, "Oh, I was able to get another job, leveraging my experience." In fact, a lady said so we created a team this year for HR, for human capital. Before now, we don't have human capital. So when we saw the lapses last year, we had to create one. In total, we have 13 teams. So the lady moved from the admin and finance team to HR team. And just within 3 months that she joined the HR team, she was able to apply for HR roles, in the normal 9 to 5 work, and she got the role. In fact, 2 roles, because she was able to leverage. In fact, she said before then she has not done anything. She has not worked in an HR capacity before. So that means that it's the 3 months she used within January to March, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, that was what she leveraged to ace her interview, and she got those jobs. So I have quite a number of them like that. That even personally, I have my TIBA experience on my CV. I usually tell them, put it on your CV, because you don't know where. Just put it there that you're a volunteer, so that they don't think that it's clashing with your interest in their job or something. Volunteering is a free will thing, and I don't think there's any organization that will kick against it, that you're volunteering, especially if it's for a good cause. So a lot of wins. And during our events, they get to meet people, they get to connect with speakers, with attendees. And because they are volunteers, they are trusted. People have come back to me to say, "Oh, I want to do business with this volunteer of yours that I met at your event. Give me a word about him or her." And I'll put in my word, especially for some of them that are very, very resourceful. So it's so numerous, I can't really count them. But yes, people have been getting a lot of opportunities by volunteering for my organization. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. That is good, and thank you for sharing that. I think it just continued from what Emeka just shared, and you weren't even hearing him because your network was bad. You were out when he was speaking. So it's just ability to show traceability of improvement of your skills, and because honestly, I see this on LinkedIn all the time, where people will just start posting about something and start claiming expertise on something they've never done. I've been beaten like 3 times where somebody will post and say, I'm doing this, and at the point they will start posting in a way that shows that they are frustrated, that nobody's patronizing them. And me, large heart, I'll go and patronize, and the person doesn't deliver on it. And then you realize that it's just you've not taken the time to build the skill, you've not built the capacity, but you really want people to pay you, even if they pay you that one time. Do you think those people will be willing to give reviews? Do you think you're going to make, because when you come back to me and say, give me reviews, I can only speak on what I know. And
I know.
it goes back to what you've said. I've had so many people from Scholar Up whom have written even grad school recommendation letters for, because I know them and I can put in my word and I can say, yeah, I know this person, they worked with me, they did this, they did that. So thank you for sharing those practical lessons. Dr. Gosta, before I pass it to you, let's see what our friends are saying in the chat. Thank you for keeping the chat busy. And, I think, okay, you're reiterating the good ones we stay, the bad ones we leave. We see that every day. Whenever you call for volunteers, when I called for volunteers for our events that we are planning, which is still like 3 months away. I think we have close to 300 people sharing those practical lessons. Dr. Master, before I pass it to you, let's. Okay, all right, better. So we had up to 300 people apply. When we said, okay, come for the onboarding, maybe about 100 showed up. And so far, like you said, we are still watching. We are seeing who is really there to commit to the event, who is there to build that trust to see. So he said the community begins to trust you. That's true. And trust is everything. There is no currency that is more important than trust. And then Dr. Ifoma says, definitely all will come. Then those who are willing to learn and serve will stay. The organizational culture defines a lot. Genuine volunteers will stay. That is absolutely true. Thank you all for keeping it going. Let me see one more chat before we continue. Faith says, show up and genuinely contribute to the growth of the place you are volunteering at. That's how you will gain value from volunteering. That's true. And the truth is that the things that you learn, one thing that I've come to see in my own life is that most of the time when you are doing things for people, you really think you're doing things for people. But when you sit down and reflect, you realize that you're doing it for yourself because you're becoming stronger, you're becoming better equipped, you're just picking up all of those skills. And then before you know, you show up and you're no longer incompetent. Like you've grown your competence. You're now that person that can say, I know how to do this because I have done this. It's no longer in my head. Like I can point at something alive to say, I did that. So that makes all that difference. So Dr. Augusta, any thoughts from you before we keep going?
Yes, so many thoughts from me, but I'm going to try to keep it short.
Okay.
So I've been taking some notes. So to be looking down, taking notes. I was really, really nodding my head inside my head when Adeola mentioned how people, the HR lady that got the job, because that is exactly how I transitioned into communication strategy before I became an education consultant. I was working in public health as a researcher, and my friend told me about a vacancy in Campus France, Nigeria. And I'm a medical doctor. I don't, I wasn't just learning French then, I had like an intermediate level, and I didn't have any experience. I wanted someone that had a master's in communication and has had like more than 2 years work experience in the field. But what I did was I packaged my volunteer experience with Abuja Literary Society, where I was the creative director of the Teen Talk program, and I was also like the guest manager for the festival. So the job needed someone that had organization skills, that could speak in public, that could answer questions, and I knew I could do all of that. But if I hadn't volunteered, I would have had like references or proof to show that I've actually done this work before for the required amount of time. And this was how my transition started. So working from Campus France, and now I'm in France, and it basically changed my life. So we can't really write everything in one LinkedIn post, but it's real, it's happening, and it's so true. And what Emeka said initially was like, what keeps him going, what keeps us going with volunteering is knowing your why. I'm a very rare case. I don't really even know why I do things. I'm very spiritual. Like once I just feel like I'm supposed to do something, I just do it. Like how Amaka said I should join the LinkedIn challenge. I was like, why not? Let me do it. Like, but if my heart says I shouldn't do it, I won't do it. So, and this is how 14 months down the line, see how far we've come. Document your document your journeys, and nothing he said. Like you can see like the post I made like on Wednesday, I wrote how I've been volunteering and different capacities I've worked in and how it has helped me. So if you don't document your journey, sometimes you may not even know what you've done. So when the time comes for you to show proof, show working, you will just like, I think I've done this thing, but I don't even know when. You'll be scratching your head. LinkedIn is one of the ways to document your journey. Add it. There's volunteering section in LinkedIn. You can add your projects, add your activities to document it. And then when you are volunteering, I know there's some people that like to be quiet, be seen, and that's what Emeka said. When I was volunteering with Scholar of Mentor and Academy, I think I was one of the noisiest people on the group. Me and what's this guy's name, Starboy, and we used to like talk a lot on the group. I was when I met Amaka, I was like, why don't we do this voting for the most active? I don't know, I was an active person. I don't know why I felt bad for asking about it because I know I was the most active person. But I was like, why don't we do this voting for awards for the cohorts? And she took up the idea and we did it, and it was really fun and nice. And that's something I've been doing for the past 14 months. And then give yourself to the service. As people have been saying, the good volunteers will distinguish themselves. If you don't distinguish yourself as a volunteer, I remember when I was doing that my teen talk work, there's one girl that said she wanted to volunteer. She volunteered and she showed up for just 2 events, Next thing, she was asking me to write her recommendation letter. I wrote the recommendation letter, shall, but I'm like, it's evident that she just wanted to associate herself with also she get a recommendation letter. But really give yourself, and the people who will recommend you will not think twice about it. They'll be so happy to speak in your favor and recommend you. And then Madam Adeola said how she keeps volunteers is by showing that she cares, right? Not just being a boss of them or just telling them do this and using them. You show you care. And how does she show she cares? I think she said she has a leadership and training part of her TIBA where she trains their capacity, builds their capacity, and builds them up to be professionals in wherever they are volunteering, which is very important. So as much as they're adding value to you, you need to add value to them. Thank you. This is all I have for now. Well done.
Thank you so much, Dr. Augusta. Yeah, you just really reminded me about how all this our Scholar Up thing started. I always tell people that I don't even know how and why I started Scholar Up. Right? It was really, I say it all the time. It wasn't really like a strategic thought of, oh, let me sit down, let me plan, let me start. That's not the truth. If you ever hear me share that anywhere, it's not true. It's more of a serendipitous something where you just keep going with the flow, and before you know, you're already doing something, right? I remember meeting Dr. Augusta in an audio room. That was the first time she heard me spoke when LinkedIn used to have audio events. So Augusta heard me share, I think it was Annie's room or Annie's group, She heard me say something, entered my DM, and then we started talking. And then all I was doing was graduate mentoring. And looking at the people I was mentoring, I realized that they should also elevate their professional presence. I remember that was the first word. I said I want my mentees to also elevate their professional presence. So as I'm learning about LinkedIn, I also want to teach them. Let's do this cohort thing. Dr. Augusta, are you in? Why not? Emeka was there. I know Joshua was there. Divine too. There were a couple of maybe 20, 30 people in the first cohort, something along that lines. And how I came to select the first leadership team, as she mentioned, was just by how active they were, how willing they were to contribute. Because it was just me, I was just running everything by myself. I was doing everything, still being a PhD student. I already knew that if I continue doing this thing by myself, it's not going to be sustainable. There is no way I can manage this number of people month to month. So it was within the people that showed up. They didn't even show up to say they wanted to volunteer. It was me that now reached out individually. I think Emeka was the only person, because Emeka was not among the people that I selected. He was the only person that actually came to my inbox and said, I want to volunteer. The rest of the people who started that leadership team was me saying, do you want to join me on this project? This is the vision. It's not too clear, but let's keep going. So it's just, I'm trying to emphasize the point Augusta made, that when you are somewhere, it's just beyond making yourself useful, make yourself visible, contribute. Don't just be in the background. And 14 months down the line, all of us have stuck together. Like we've stayed, we've continued, it makes me emotional, I almost want to cry. Let's keep going. It makes me, it's just funny how things evolve and you don't plan things, and before you know, it's now this thing. But let's get back to the show so I don't distract myself. I'm going to go back to you, Emeka. I want to now actually talk about some of the skills that you have learned. You talked about tracking your progress, right? And I remember when we started Scholar Up, I know you stammer a lot. That's something you've written about, so I know I can say it and things like that. So you used to be really very shy and reserved, but now no longer. You are being interviewed on TV. You are now an ambassador and things like that. So I want to know, what are some of the skills that you've developed through your volunteering journey that you could not have gained from maybe a normal 9-to-5 job or something like that? What are some of those skills that you can now really point to, since you've kept track, which is good? That is wonderful. A lot of people don't keep track. So how would you say you have evolved, at least this past year with us at Scholar Up Mentoring Academy?
All right, Dr. Amaka, I think the first sign that I've evolved is the fact that I'm on this call, looking at this camera, and I'm not shy. That's the first sign. Because I remember from that first cohort, when we asked to make a video, before our graduation, for almost 2 days, I was overthinking it. How I want to do this? How do I want to stand before a camera and speak to an audience that I don't even know? But here I am speaking to a live audience, and of course, many persons are going to catch up these videos on several platforms. So this is my first takeaway. This is my first value I've gotten from here. The next is access to a global community. I've been able to communicate with people from diverse, perspectives across the world. We have people from Jamaica in the cohort. We have people from different parts of the world, and these people, they know my name. I know their names. In fact, another interesting thing is the fact that I can enter their DMs even though they live overseas. They won't have this premonition that I'm coming to beg them for money, because that is usually the mindset that when a young person from the global south reaches out to somebody in the west or something, is just to ask for money. So, but this volunteering experience changed that perspective about me. So, whenever I'm coming into their DM, they know it is for value. So, let me just keep it at this too: ability to make this video, and of course, that global perspective.
Yeah, that's thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Yes, because I remember the first cohort and the video struggle. I remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, truly, the fact that you were here and you're speaking to a global audience, really, and you are here as a guest, it says something about people can change when they commit themselves to growth. Anybody can learn to become good at anything, and it makes me really proud. Honestly, it makes me super proud, because it's the same way you are keeping track of your work. For me, the track of my work is the growth of my people. That's the thing. I can say, this is what I've done and this is who they are, and that's really what makes me so proud. So thank you so much. And then I'm just going to pass it on to you now. Adeola, you did mention how you ensure your volunteers are happy and they are growing, but I also want to know, how have organizing this whole volunteering team over this period of time, how has it helped you to grow your own brand? So, like, on the flip side, what gain would you say you've gotten from really organizing? It's not easy organizing people. Wow, it's tough work. Do you think it's worth it? It's a lot of work organizing people. I know that from experience. I think you're muted.
Okay, yes, it's a lot of work, especially when people are not paid. The disposition is quite different, because you see a lot of carefree attitude. After all, they don't pay me. Let me give you a very good example. For instance, some people just disappear. They'll just ghost you and just disappear, waiting for you to come. And one thing I usually tell them is that normally, if you do a 9 to 5 that you are paid, and you are not going to be showing up at work for whatever reason, will you wait for your boss to come and meet you after 3 days to come and ask you, why have you not been coming to work? Or maybe on the very first day, before 8 o'clock, or even before the day breaks, you will send a message to your boss, right? You say, hello, madam, or hello, sir. I am not feeling well today. I will not show up for work. I'll be going to see the doctor, and I'll let you know how it goes. I mean, you are going to excuse yourself properly, because you know that once you don't show up for a day, 2 days, 3 days, it is going to be counted as you abandoning your place of work, and you might
sacked.
Yes, you might get sacked. It is only when the organization is lenient that they warn you or send you an email or even call you. On a norm, you'll be sacked, because why are you not showing up for work and you are not sending any message to say, okay, this is why I'm not going to be showing up? But people now do the same thing in a voluntary role, because they believe, after all, you're not paying me, I can disappear and reappear anytime I like, So, and it's really difficult to manage people like that. And I will tell them that if you cannot do it in your paid work, you cannot do it here. Yes, we don't pay you. And like Dr. Amaka said, it's a win-win thing. You're gaining, we are gaining, everybody's gaining. Whatever it is that brought you here in the first place, there must be a reason, because the normal configuration of human, or the normal way human is wired, is that there must be something in it. Yes, there's something in it for you, whatever it is, whether it is in cash or in kind. Nobody's doing anything for free for anybody. That's the truth. We should just embrace. Nobody's doing anything for free. People are benefiting in one way or the other. So it's a win-win thing. So if you will not treat your normal 9 to 5 job like this, you do not have any right to treat this one like this as well. So there are a lot of challenges managing people, managing their expectation, managing their disposition. And like I said, I will usually tell them, communicate. If you will not show up, communicate. If you have any challenges in delivering your tasks, communicate. So overall, going back to your question now, working with volunteers in my organization has really helped, because you don't get to pay cash outrightly to people for working. I know that if we have to pay, it's a lot. If I have to prepare a payroll on the kind of
very,
food
yeah.
thousands and millions is going to be rolling out every month. But getting that side of people can work for you, for free in quotes without being paid has really been a win for my organization. And I will also say that personally it has helped me in my own leadership journey because you now get to know people more. You now get to learn a lot. I've learned a lot, a whole lot in my, when they call me now to come and talk about people management, I think I can really talk about it extensively because I've gone through it. Different people, different character, different behavior. And so it has really helped me to know how to deal with people, how to manage people. And it has taught me a lot of lessons to know my expectation concerning people or about people. For instance, one of these big lessons that I will forever hold tight to my chest is that it is not everybody that wants to be at the forefront or that wants to be at the spotlight, that want the spotlight to be on him or her. I don't know how to say it, but I hope you understand. So it's not everybody that wants to be at the forefront of everything. It's not everybody that wants to be at the center of the show. Some people just want to be at the background, making things happen. They just want to be behind the scene, making things happen. So number one mistake I made when I was starting out leading this volunteering role is that I expect that everybody should be like me. Why are you shy of facing the camera? Why don't you want to moderate a live video? Why are you behind? Why are you not talking? Why are you not moving forward? I kept pushing people to the limelight, just trying to make everybody look like me, trying to put everybody in my shoes. But later I discovered that no, it's not everybody that are like me. People have their own different personality, and some people don't want the spotlight on them at all. They just want to be where they are. As long as they are delivering, I'm fine. So I think I made that first mistake initially, which I was able to correct over the time. So yeah, it's a win-win thing. I've been able to benefit personally as a leader to learn a lot of lessons. My organization has been able to benefit from people delivering their services without being paid cash. And I believe that the volunteers, on the other hand, have also been able to benefit in terms of sharpening their skills, growing and building a career path for themselves. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much. Thank you for bringing that balance. Yes, because I wanted to ask that question. It's an important conversation because that mindset thing is there. The mindset thing is there. You tell someone having access to some people is a plus to you. Sometimes all you need to the next level in life is a person, and sometimes the best somebody can give you is free access to them. That's the best thing they can give you. Does it mean that your work is not valuable? No, your work is very valuable. But for the fact that you even now have this person's WhatsApp number and you can come and pick their brain about random things, and they will stop what they are doing and give you their full attention. Like they'll give you that, like, which problem do you have? How can I solve this problem for you? Oh, you received this email. How do we respond? People don't understand that some of those things you cannot put a dollar price to it. So there's that balance. It's not saying that your work is not valuable, but you are also growing. If you don't have a mind of service, it's going to be very hard to be a volunteer. And like you said, yeah, I'm also personally from running Scholar Up this over a year, going to entering our second year now. I've learned a lot about human behavior. I've grown in my own leadership journey. I also used to be that way where I kind of push people, and then you begin to realize that everybody is different. And the most important thing is the heart of people sometimes. And I think another thing that I've also learned so much is that, sometimes what is on someone's face is not really what is in their heart. And people can be funny too. So you also learn that about managing your expectations. I think that's also something that I've learned, where I don't put 100% trust on anybody. You are not God. So I don't put like my 100% trust, so that when somebody derails, you are now heartbroken, like, even this person did me like this, that kind of thing. So I think it has helped me to be able to look at people and say, okay, if we are in this, let's be in it. Let's do it together. You're no longer in it, no problem. It's fine. It's okay. You're free to ghost. And I'm not going to, say anything about it, and I won't let it work me up. So thank you for providing those practical feedback. So Dr. Augusta, before I turn it to you again, I think we have a question. Doka says, I would like to volunteer, but how? That's a very nice question. I just spotted that question and I was looking at it. It's actually very easy to be there's a lot of organizations that you can volunteer for. One of them is TIBA right here. This is Madam TIBA. She's sitting in front of us, right? So she's been talking about the work that she's been doing and all of those. Another place you are, Scholar of Mentoring Academy. So you are the center of a volunteering organization. How you can volunteer is to say, I want to volunteer. That's how. It's as simple as that. Most of the time, even if you are on LinkedIn, it's not even just the both of us. I see different organizations calling for volunteers for this, for that, for this cause, for that cause. So it now boils down to your interest. What are you interested in? What are you trying to grow in? What areas of your life are you trying to sharpen? Because I always don't volunteer for the sake of it. There should be that goal. Emeka said that at the beginning, and that's true. Why do you want to do this thing? What is the ROI for you too? So that you can put your heart to it. So that you don't come and start feeling like, they're using me. It's normal human behavior. Human beings, I think the Bible said it, human beings are inherently selfish. All of us, human beings as a race. So if you cannot really put your hand and say, this is what is going to shift for me, the chances of becoming frustrated is there. That high chance of you do that thing for like 1 month, 2 weeks, you begin to feel frustrated. So I would encourage you, if you want to volunteer, feel free to reach out to me. We are organizing a conference now, which is in 3 months. We have around 100 active volunteers right now. If you want to join them, you're welcome. We are still in the process of setting up. Madam TIBA is here. She has a system already. So you can still reach out to her, connect with her on LinkedIn, see the work that she's doing, and not just the both of us. There are so many others. So volunteering, so that's the way to go about it. That's really the way to go about volunteering. It's about saying, yeah, I want to volunteer. It's simple as that. And Gift is here. Okay, I think Gift said before that she volunteers at TIBA. Yes, I think I saw that. Yes, I did see her chat. So she says she's proud that she volunteers at TIBA. And then she says, volunteering is a free will service that helps you. However, being there for the right purpose gets you hired in no time. That is true. That is absolutely, absolutely true. It gets you hired in no time, because now you can show that you have the skills, which is the important thing. In case I skip your questions, there's a lot of chats. Please put it in again, right? If you have a question and I skip it, please feel free to put it again. Dr. Efoma says volunteering builds trust from the organization they served. Volunteering avails many beautiful opportunities. Yes, we can't say that enough. Dr. Augusta, any more thoughts from you before we wrap up? So we are reaching the 1 hour mark. So we'll try to do 15 more minutes at best. If you've not reposted, please repost. Maybe someone will come and hear the last 15 minutes of this show. All right. So Dr. Augusta.
Okay. So I just want to, I'll be very brief. There's something very important that Adeola said. She said people tend to treat volunteering different from how they treat their jobs. And this shouldn't be the case. I know everybody says they want to volunteer, but honestly, if you do not have the time to volunteer, or you're not like, you don't have laptop and you want to volunteer for graphic designer, or you don't have phone, please just be honest with yourself. If you're going to volunteer, ensure that you have the capacity or the time, or you are really going to be into it, so that you make it easy for the person coordinating the volunteers. They don't have to be chasing you around, calling you morning, afternoon, and night, giving you messages, and chasing you. It's a real act of service, and it takes a lot from the person organizing and you. So you need to give yourself fully. And I do know how hard it is to organize volunteers. So I want to add voice and say well done to everyone who is coordinating volunteers, and also to wish Omobabinrin good luck with the honorary doctorate. So I'm imagining you getting like global leader doctor, because I mean, doing this for 7 years, building a whole brand based on volunteer. That is how do I
Remarkable.
say?
It's remarkable.
Yeah, it's remarkable. It's worthy of this doctorate. Honestly, you've gone above and beyond, and I'm just want to applaud you. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Augusta. Thank you for kind of re-echoing that point. That's a very important point, and that's true. Like what you will not do on your real job, why do you want to do it on the volunteering job? Because nobody has a job and you would not show up, except you truly don't want the job, right? So it's truly about the mindset. And for me, what has helped me with my volunteers or the people who work with me or whatever is to just continue to challenge your mindset. Because I tell people, the best investment you can make on yourself as a person, as a human being, is on your mind. That's just the best investment. And until you reach a point where you can clearly think for yourself, you would always follow the bandwagon effect. The shiny object syndrome. Where is it happening now? Where is it happening? People will just enter WhatsApp group. Wow. Once they post something here, they just enter and they will go there and sit down.
And carry mat and sleep.
Oh my God. It's just, where is it happening? Where is it happening? They will just enter. But then, why did you join? Why are you doing it? It gets like frustrating. Sometimes you want to shake people. Like, wake up and think for yourself. Think about your life. Why are you doing what you're doing?
Why are you here?
Yeah. So it's always about that. So thank you so much for this, practical conversation. So Emeka, in wrapping up, I want to ask you, what advice would you give to someone? Because you've been on this volunteering journey before you came to Scholar Up. Scholar Up just kind of brought you to the limelight of something you were already doing, and then you could refine it as a brand, which is now recognized, right? Tell us about your experience on TV. Emeka was interviewed. I was so proud. He's now on TV. Me, I've not gone on TV, but my mentees are going on TV. Divine went to presidential villa. That makes me really happy. So tell me about some of these experiences and how you would advise someone else who wants to build credibility. Because I would say you've been able to build your credibility by just being with the right crowd, right? Just somehow they call you, say, Dr. Amaka is my person. Go and ask about me, and I'll be willing to verify and things like that.
Go and verify.
What advice would you give someone, just share some of those your personal experiences. Yeah.
Okay, let me just quickly state that even that TV presentation was also on volunteer basis. We attended the conference. They were looking for who to talk to the camera. I said, please, I'm in. So it was just that. And for me, volunteering is an important skill in professional and, of course, personal development, especially in a country like ours in Nigeria, where a 25-year-old graduate is expected to have 10 years of work experience for your first class to make sense. Do you understand? So it is very important for any young person out there who is really looking to grow in his or her profession to leverage volunteering. Now, the first guideline I will give is shoot your shot. Shoot your shot. I think Dr. Amaka has already stated that I did that. I went to her DM, I saw what she was doing. He was there with me. I said, Ma, please, where can I serve? I want to serve. And it's been more than 1 year down the line. Okay? So look for organizations that are doing things that resonate with you and apply to be with them. The worst you can get is a no, and you move on, right? Yeah. So the next step you have to take as a young person is you have to pay for access. You have to pay for access to individuals' opportunities and rooms with your needs. I learned that framework from somebody, MEAT, which speaks to your money, your energy, your attention, and your time. So for me, I exempt, of course, even meat is involved because I don't think I've ever reached out to Dr. Amaka and said, Doc, please send me data to do the job. So I literally have to invest my data, which speaks to my money, my energy, my attention, and my time to get the work going. So you must be willing to pay that price with any of this. Then you must have to, as a young person who is volunteering, you must ensure that the work ends with you. In other words, no excuses. So if it's difficult, you have to deploy your growth mindset and say, look, I can be teachable, I can learn this, I can do it. Or better say, I can ask for help. So even if you're a volunteer, ensure that you are not doing shabby work. Ensure that the work always ends with you. So they shouldn't give you a task and they give it to somebody as a backup in case you fail. So that's not a great thing. And then you have to do real work as a volunteer who is volunteering on purpose. Do real work. Don't just chase the clouds. So it would have been easier for me to run around Dr. Amaka and Dr. Augusta and say, I'm with them. But they can't say that this is what Amaka is doing for us. So do the work. And then lastly is that you have to see mistakes as part of the learning curve. So you make mistakes, you get feedbacks and all of that. So for me, it was in an occasion where I was overwhelmed with the work from the back end. I think at the time we had over 70 persons undergoing the LinkedIn Elevation Program. I was to keep tabs on them from the back end. So it got really overwhelming that I missed some days. I had to reach out to Dr. Augusta. I said, Dr. Augusta, I'm dying. Help me. I don't know if you can remember that experience. So it got to that. So she taught me that, look, learn to ask for help. So that my mistake of not being able to meet up and not ask for help early became a learning curve for me. So it's all part of the larger equation. So that's my advice to every young person out there.
Thank you. That's you. I think you shared a lot of. I like the framework that you gave. I'm trying to remember it. You said meat. You said money, energy, attention, and time. I know books more. Wow, I'm proud of myself. I was trying to make sure you would help me remember it, but I do, and that's. I think sometimes what even gets you access sometimes may be your money. It may just be that you register for a course someone is doing. You register for a program, then you already have an in, right? So it's about understanding. It's about the mindset of tracing. Thank you for those practical advice. And I think what I'll add to that is communication. That's something I've had to try to teach you on occasions, right? Like just say something. Just talk to me. If you have a problem, just tell me. If you need something, just tell me. Feel free. You have access now. We are together. Don't assume that someone is going to read your mind to understand that you're facing a challenge. I think that's something that makes all that difference. Just being able to just communicate clearly. Say, this is the thing, this is the challenge I'm facing, this is what I need. I need this to get this done. I'm sure more often than not, people are willing to support you because they want to see you win. That's the whole point. The people whose work is heart-centered, you realize at the end of the day, it's about people winning. So they really want to see you win. They want to really get you to, improve and things like that. I remember our whole thing with your profile branding. I was like, we need a better picture, right? I don't want to go into that. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to turn to Adeola now to ask a similar question, just so you could give some advice. I know you've given some stories. If you want to share one more story, that's still fine. But then, as a way to wrap up, which advice will you give to leaders? I think this would also be very helpful for me and for any leader out there, right? Where you're trying to coordinate people, it's a lot of work. So the more tips and the more skills and the more we grow on it. So which advice would you give to leaders on how they can create volunteer opportunities that is mutually beneficial? Because once that mutual thing is not there, then one person will be aggrieved, right? If the volunteer is not benefiting anything, they will be aggrieved. If you are doing all your best to support them and you are not getting anything, you would also be frustrated. So what advice, what practical frameworks would you give that you have used over the years? Obviously, you've done this for 7 years. Some of us who are entering our second year, we are like baby steps. So we are learning. We are looking up to some of you that has really put in 7 years to continue to refine and improve, because it's always about continuous improvement.
Okay, thank you very much. So, number one advice I will give to leaders, it's going to be a two-phase thing. I'll talk about the leader, I'll talk about the follower, is that you need to be patient. You need to really be patient with people. If you are a leader and you're not patient, you're going to miss out on a lot of things. You need to pay attention. You need to pay attention to details. I'm coming, please. You need to pay attention to every detail around you. Understand people's personality. I think I've mentioned that. Understand that not everybody are the same. So you need to respect people for who they are and treat them the same way they want to be treated. Ask questions. And I think that's another very key thing that I did not remember to mention. Ask questions. Don't just pick people and give them role that they cannot function in. Just this afternoon when I was going through the questions for this live event, I was just remembering and ruminating over so many things, how I would just unpick people and say, you do this, you do that. At the end of the day, nobody's doing anything. And I'm angry. Why are you not doing it? I begin to shout, I begin to scream. Only for me to realize that people who are telling to do so, they don't know how to do it. It's not just that they don't know how to do it. They're not interested in doing it. They are not passionate about doing it. For instance, community management is a part where I have been struggling with people, getting people to do the work. So over the time, I just unpick people and said, you do this, you do that. And I see that they are not doing it. And on the long run, I discovered that they are not passionate about it. And you cannot force them. It's just like telling me now to come and do anything that has to do with automobile or sports. I will fail. I don't like it. I am not interested. I'm not passionate about it. But if you give me something that has to do with public speaking, personal development, leadership, and so many other things, I will passionately do it. I will give it my best. I will deliver and over-deliver. So you need to understand what people are passionate about and what they are willing to do. It's not just about pushing tasks around to people. So now what I do is I ask questions. When I'm giving you a task, one of the things, but I have like a permanent line that I use now. I will ask, are you willing and available to take up this task? So it's something for you to be available. It's something for you to be willing. Is it something you want to do? Is it something you have the capacity to do? Is it something you are passionate about? And not just passionate. Do you have the right skills to execute this? Now, your answer is what is going to determine what I will do next. Some people, they want to do it, they're passionate about it, but they don't have the required skills. I can now say, okay, I will teach you, or I will get someone to put you through on how you will do it. That means you're willing to do it, but you don't have the capacity. That one is manageable. Another thing is, are you available? Like Dr. Augusta said, some people are not available. They just see the next happening thing. Everybody, click link to join. Everybody's like, by the time they land there and they are now wondering, okay, what are we doing here? What's going on here? Why are we here? And you as a person, you're hungry.
Why did you come?
Why did you? Is it that you did not read, or you don't know how to read, or what is the problem? That's why they carry mat, they sleep, and you are looking at them, they are looking at you. Walk, they are not walking. Do this and that, and you get so mad and so angry. Do you understand? So availability is another thing. Are you available? For instance, do you have the phone? Do you have laptop? If it's something that requires you to do, because I remember recently a lady walked up to me, and she was expressing her resentment towards me. I never knew that she has been keeping me in her mind for years. What happened? She volunteered for TIBA at the time, and for like 3 or 4 months, her phone was bad. We will give her tasks to do, she will not do. We have to collect it from her and give it to someone else, and that was going on for weeks. And like you were telling Emeka the other time, communicate. This is something that people are really fond of not doing. I have a bad phone. I am sick. I have an emergency to attend to. I have some personal issues I'm handling at the moment. Communicate, speak up, talk. I mean, so this lady was just there doing nothing. You have to be calling her, chasing her up and down. And eventually I had to remove her. I had to remove her. She was not forthcoming. She was not explaining why she's not around. Once in a while, she just show up and say, my phone is bad. My phone is bad. And she will disappear again. And I'm like, why? Why are you doing this? So over the years or over the months, she has been resenting me. And she just walked up to me a few weeks ago and said, I have been resenting you. You removed me. You did not allow me to talk. You did not allow me to explain myself. And she was going on and on. And I said, this is one of the things I usually say. And if you will not lie, you will know that this thing, I'm actually big on it, which is communication. You cannot tell me that all these 4 months or 3 months that you had a bad phone, you don't know that this phone is going to last for this long. I mean, if you're going to be replacing your phone very soon, you will know that maybe in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be getting a replacement. But if you are not going to be getting a replacement soon, consider the man that you communicate to say, oh, I have a bad phone. I will not be able to continue for now. Pending the time, I will get a new phone. Please, can you just excuse me so that I don't delay you or hold you down, So many people just join because they see the link somewhere and everybody just crash into the group. So you need to be very, very patient as a leader to understand people, understand their personality, to communicate, and to also give the right tasks to the right people. So that being said, I will also talk about the follower. I'll use the word follower because we are talking about leaders now. Follower does not mean that you're a servant. Followership does not mean that you are useless, because when people see this act of following other people, they see it as, I am inferior. No, you are not. You're not inferior to me in any capacity. In fact, you have the opportunity to follow and lead in your own capacity. I have people working with me that they lead different. Like I said, we have 13 teams. We have video, we have graphics, we have human capital, we have social management, social media management, we have community management, we have publicity. We have 13 of them. And each of these teams have a leader that is leading them. So it's all also in your own interest to groom your organizational skill. I think someone was talking the other time. I think it's Dr. Augusta that was saying that she was trying to get a job that needs someone with an organizational skill. So don't ever see yourself as being inferior or somebody that don't have any value or any worth just because you are volunteering or you are following someone. No. Someone is calling me right now. I will pick her call later. She's one of our volunteers. She's sick, so I just dropped a message for her not quite long to check up on her. And I remember one thing she told me last year. She said, along when we were planning for the big TIBA event, she was so busy. She's a very resourceful person. Day, night, she's always there working. We work through the night, sometimes from night till morning. She's a very resourceful person. And, at a point, she said her husband told her that, you just following TIBA. You not go and start your thing. And she said, what did you say? She said she told the husband that, what did you say? Start what? It's like, you don't know the kind of work we are doing in that place. If you know the kind of work we are doing, you will not even advise me. Start what? Now, that's another mistake people make. People think that once you're following someone, it means you don't have vision. You don't have direction for your life. You don't know what you're doing. No! Let me tell you, some people are even better in following than leading. Tell some people to come and lead. They will lead woefully. But tell them to follow. They will follow so well that even themselves, they will be so proud of themselves. So she said she had to tell the husband that, see, I am following, I am leading in my own capacity in this organization, and I am enjoying it. I am fulfilling purpose. I love what I'm doing. I love the support I give to this woman and what she does. And I don't need to go, because that's one thing. Once people come into your organization and see the way you're doing things, the next thing they want to start their own thing, Pepper Body. Oh, I'm also, nobody's saying you should not start, but don't let people
Dr. Augusta is laughing for a reason.
You know, don't let people will come and meet you. A lot of people will come and meet me. I have people who have been volunteering for me for 7 years that we started. One of them is Ajibola Oluwasomi. He started volunteering. He's a guy that you would think, okay, because of ego, he will say, okay, because you're a woman, I cannot work with you. He has been volunteering for TIBA since 2019. And one of the things that they will always tell me is people will come and meet them and say, you are Mumu. Why are you following them up and down? Go and start your own. Go and do your own. You will tell them that I don't have the capacity to start my own. What do I want to start? What do I want to do? How do I want to do it? I don't understand this starting your own thing. I want to serve. I am fulfilled serving. So I think it's a mindset thing, like Dr. Amaka have been saying. It's a mindset thing. Don't let anybody confuse you. Serving other people is not a disease. It does not mean that you are inferior. Does not mean that you are worthless. Does not mean that you don't have a vision for your life or something. Like I said, some people are going to function very well following other people than to stay on their own. I will use another example. I'm very sorry for taking your time. I'll use another example. There is one man, there is a priest in Nigeria. He's very popular. I will not mention his name. He's a priest, and he served at Winners Chapel. Maybe some of us might know him. He's a reverend, he's a bishop, and he served at Winners Chapel for, I think, 50-something years. He retired not quite long. And he said during his journey, a lot of people have told him, go and start your own church. Go and start your own church. Leave the church. You have been serving as a pastor for how many years? Do you know that the man did not start his own church? He served in that church till he retired last year or 2 years ago. And the kind of honor, the kind of influence, I don't want to use the word fame, but the kind of influence that he is able to amass by serving under that church, by serving under that organization. Sincerely speaking, I am not so sure that if he had derailed or he had detached himself and go and start, I'm not sure he might be able to acquire that much.
That level, yeah.
He might not be able to. That is the truth. So sometimes you are better off serving than even, starting your own in court. So don't let anybody deceive you. Understand your why, your vision. Why are you here? What are you here for? To support, to lead in your own capacity. And you will discover that even as you're following, you become a leader. Because like Dr. Amaka said, when she was starting out, she identified some resourceful people among the crowd. And she was like, okay, I think you can be a leader. You can lead, and you can lead. And look at it today. She has a group of leaders who are also leading other people. Over the 7 years, I've seen a lot of leaders come in, go. So as you're leaving, I already have another replacement as a leader. I already have somebody I'm hiring again that, okay, this one is fit for you. So we are never stranded of people. As you're leading for whatever reason, or, some people leave for personal reasons, some people leave for health reasons, marriage, relocation, and so many other things. As you're leaving, we're already having a replacement because people have shown themselves worthy of leadership over the years. So yeah, for leadership, it's there, and for followership, it's also there. I hope I'm not taking too much of your time.
No. I like how just practical and real you're being, and that's the reason me and Dr. Augusta is laughing. Maybe I'll pass it to her, and then she can talk a little bit about that. And it's honestly true. People come in and they see the things you do, and it looks very easy. Sometimes it looks easy. Okay, I'm going to go and start, and I'm going to go and do it. I wish you all the best, right? I always take that position of good luck, but I won't say more than that. Thank you so much for bringing that practical, explanations and the balance, because it's always about the balance. And I love what you said, that sometimes people, your destiny sometimes is tied to somebody else's destiny. And that's the real thing about life. That you may be able to become more influential, you may be able to get to your goal faster because you are following this person, using the word follower now in quotes, or because you are associated, let me use association. Because you are associated with this person, you get to your destination faster than if you felt like, no, let me also go and start from the scratch and build and things like that. So, Dr. Augusta, let's not take too much time again. I'll give you time to just kind of tie together everything, and then final word for Ambassador Emeka, final word for Adeola, and we are out of here. Yeah.
Thank you so much. You spoke the truth. You said it all. Like, I'm not going to repeat anything you said. Anyone that wants to know what she said, please rewind. You need to watch it from the horse's mouth. So I'm just going to repeat something, the meat acronym, because me, I like meat too. This is why I cannot be a vegetarian. There's something Emeka said. There are things that you can give and use meat as the acronym, which is you can give money. Some people don't really like to do anything. There's some big guys, they like your vision, they want to support it. Like in Scholar Up, we have people that used to support Scholar Up by just sponsoring other people. No, you can volunteer your money.
Right.
You can
You
also
can.
volunteer your energy. Like I know Divine, like Divine is doing marvelous work. She's the one that is coordinating the volunteers. That's a lot of energy. You can volunteer your attention. You can, I don't even know how you do that, but you can also volunteer your time. I think time is mostly what I'm volunteering because I really don't have time. I'm very busy. I'm always very doing something, but I think I find something that I like and I try to volunteer my time to. And to talk about leaders, how to lead volunteers, you need to be patient with people, and this is something I'm learning. I used to ask Amaka how she does it because I don't even I don't think I'm a very patient person. I am a very fire for fire person. When I want to do something, I just go and do it. But if you want to lead a team, you want to work with people, you need to be patient. You need to pay attention to details. You need to understand people's personalities. There's some people that rather just be on the background, supporting from the side. So you need to know those kind of people and ask questions. Ask people what they are willing to do. She said her question is, are you willing and available to take up this task?
I
These
like
are
that
two things.
question.
You are willing, but you're not available, or you're available, but you don't know how. So we need to find a balance between the two. And then that way you're able to give the right task to the right person. And there's a secret. Let me tell you guys a secret. I always say Amaka this thing. I cannot do this thing you're doing, oh. This scholar opting, I cannot. I think I've tried to do it, but no. I can't. I mean, Amaka is showing up every day sending voice notes to the group. Me, I can spend 1 week without reading my WhatsApp messages. So what is my own with organizing a group? I don't even like WhatsApp. So I feel very fulfilled in my only two role. I just go create forms. I send forms to the community. I mean, I'm not talking to anybody if I don't want to talk to anybody. If I want to, I talk. If I don't want to, I don't have to talk. This is my own time, my own ability that I'm volunteering, and I'm very happy doing it. So yeah, this I'm going to
Thank
stop
you for
here.
your service. Are you done? I think your network is breaking. Okay, maybe you're done. I don't know if it's me. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for just kind of wrapping up everything. I see my Bironke said something. He said Emeka is Minister of Agriculture in the making. He's consistent with his brand, leadership, and agriculture. Yes, I agree. So I wanted to post that. I totally agree. Consistency is not a character you see in, especially these days. It's not very easy to see people who would really stay consistent, and it shows because sometimes the work you do is not going to pay you that month. It won't pay you in 3 months. It may not pay you in 6 months. So it takes a heart of service to be able to kind of have that long-term vision, right? So on that note, Emeka, I'm going to give you the opportunity to any final words, like 1 minute wrap up, tell people how they can connect with you. Of course, I know LinkedIn is your main base, but feel free to let people know the best way to connect with you. 1 minute elevator pitch, right? Here, you have it. Can you hear me? Is it my network or is it?
I can hear
Okay, I think
you.
Emeka is frozen. So Adeola, let me just pass it to you. Hopefully he's able to work out his network. Okay, yeah, maybe he will come back and then we'll finish. So just 1 minute, wrap up, final words, how people can connect with you,
Okay, so my final word to everyone is here, whether you're a leader or whether you're a follower, is that you should put your heart in whatever you are doing. For the leader, put your heart, be genuinely interested in people, like I mentioned. Don't just look out for what they want to offer. Ask about how they are doing as well, their business, their family, and everything around them. And for as a follower, also follow passionately. Don't don't just join a bandwagon because everybody's running there. If you find your way, if you miss your way to the place and you know that this place is not for me, just quickly jejely remove yourself. Instead of waiting and be resentful to people who have done nothing to you. Let's just be genuinely passionate about what we want to do. Whatever is worth doing, I thought is worth doing well. So that would be my parting word to everyone. I want to say a very big thank you to you, Dr. Amaka and Dr. Augusta, for the good work you're doing in Scholar Up Academy, Mentoring Academy. You've really helped a lot of people to find their feet, not just in the grad school, but on LinkedIn, to polish their professional presence and to elevate their online presence as well. Well done. And I wish you all the best in your November event that is coming up. I pray that it will be successful and you have good hands to work with, because it's really important that you have hands, good people, resourceful people that will help you and support you. And I wish you all the best, Dr. Okay, I'm already calling you Dr. Emeka now, so I think you just receive it in faith.
Yeah, if your mentor is a doctor, why not?
Even for me too, I've received it, because being in the midst of many, many doctors is not easy. And thank you so much for that. Best wishes, Dr. Augusta. Thank you so much for that.
Prophetic wish.
Yeah, prophetic. Yes, prophetic. So yeah, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. That is the most available place for me. My DM is always open to anyone, to anytime, any day, and I will be willing to be of good help. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Emeka, let me also give you time for your final words, and then we can wrap up.
All right. Thank you so very much for having me, Dr. Margaret. It's such a delight to even be sharing space with Coach Adeola and the doctors in the room. So it's a delight. But just to end it, I'll simply say to every young person watching this, because I can only talk to my peers, right? So, dear peers, volunteerism is the highest form of leadership. Service through volunteerism is the highest form of leadership. That is where you test who you are, whether you have a kind heart, you have a heart for humanity, when you are doing it without any immediate gain on sight. So this is me telling you, please go for it. Just love humanity and do things for the sake of humanity. The ROI on your meat will always follow. Yeah, so that's it for me. Good evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Emeka. And I'm really proud of you. I say that all the time, but now this is an opportunity for me to let you know that I'm proud of the man you're becoming, right? Because we are all becoming, and I'm happy and I'm excited to see that transformation. That's the thing. Most of the time I say, if you cannot point out what you're doing and say, this is the effect of my work, then it's just noise. It's just clout. If you cannot say this person, that person, this is what I've done and this is how it has changed for them. So I'm really proud of you, and I thank you. I thank you for how much heart and how much commitment you bring to your work and how you receive feedback. Because I know we've had our time when I'll give those feedbacks that are heavy, but then you take those feedback and then you go back and you work on it. That is how you grow, right? So for me, the reason I became very passionate about people was because I had a very good mentor. I say that all the time. I had someone who was there for me, and then I went from a different person to a different person. And then I had a case study that was clear to me that people can change. Just having access to the right person, the right resources, you can actually change. You can become a better version of yourself. You can become an improved version of yourself, because now someone has given you hope. Someone has given you that access to them that can help you to transform. So I see a number of people in the chat. Our time is up. You're saying you want to know how to volunteer. Please feel free to reach out to Emeka, reach out to Dr. Augusta, reach out to Adeola. All these people will tell you how. And I've said it before. There is a lot of organizations that have opportunities for volunteering. So it will now boil back to your interests. For us at Scholar Up, we are planning a global conference, which is November 22nd and 23rd. Right now, we just onboarded like 100 volunteers, which we are still planning. We are still in the phase of planning and really getting to assign people and all of that. So you are in good time. So you have like a 3 months opportunity to volunteer from now till November to check, is it your thing? Do I enjoy what I'm doing? And we've really adopted what Adeola said about what do you like to do? Truly, because I don't want to tell you, come and do this, I cannot tell you, come and do graphic design when maybe you don't know how to do it, or come and, so it's about really you and your interest. So you want to volunteer, feel free to reach out to me, reach out to Dr. Augusta, you will be in good hands. Emeka, to all of us can direct you on how you can join the board of volunteers, which we've just, I think we just onboarded them last Sunday. So it's still early in the process, it's still early for you to plug yourself in. So, Augusta, I don't know if you have any final words before we part ways and before we close the show, not part ways, before we close our event for today. Do you have anything you want to add?
Well, I won't say much, but as the theme of the event is purposeful service, so serve with a purpose and be purposeful when you're serving.
Okay, thank you for that. So thank you everyone. This there's really a lot of chat I would have wanted to go through, but our time has run out. But the good thing is that this is recorded, it's there on LinkedIn, it's on YouTube. So feel free to go back again to rewatch if you missed anything and connect with all of us. If you're not connected, I tell people, for me, these days it's hard for me to accept connection requests. It's not because I don't want to accept, it's because I cannot sit down on LinkedIn to be accepting. It's too much work. And really, I don't have a virtual assistant that is running my LinkedIn. I'm still on the fence of whether or not I want to give someone access to my LinkedIn to go and act in my stead. So it's difficult. It keeps piling on and on. The easiest way to connect with me, tell me in my comment section. I post a lot. Once I post the content, comment, tell me you are trying to connect and have not accepted. Otherwise, if your connection have gone down, the chances of accepting it is slim. So don't feel like, oh wow, she's feeling too proud, she doesn't want to accept. That's really not the truth. It's just life. I have to just accept that it's tough for me to keep up with it. People tend to, sometimes hundreds of people will connect with you within a short period of time, and to just come plenty, and there's really not much you can do about it. So thank you so much for your attention. Thank you for staying to the end. Gifts, thank you for keeping your mentor proud, because you really kept our chat going. This is another way, I think, Oreoluwa said this last week, right? How to be a good mentee, support the causes of your mentors. You don't need to give them money. Sometimes it's just the support you give. And she came here, she said she volunteered, and you can see that she was really active. I kept seeing her name pop up, giving back to back, to tell you that, yeah, she knows what she's doing. And that's something.
Gift is a very.
It's obvious to me. I'm just looking at it, right? So sometimes this is how you make yourself visible. This is how you really stand out. So thank you for giving us your last nugget. I'm going to post your thing for the last time. If you're not connected to Gifts, Chika, Ifokwe, please, and she's Igbo. That sounds, yes, that's Igbo. Please connect with her. She's really a resourceful person, you can tell. She said volunteering is an experience and a beautiful, memorable one, honestly. I'm a living testimony of its loads of goodness. Okay, so she's already confessing. So make sure you're connected to Gift. Gift, what do you do? I would put that here on the screen so that people can reach out to you for what you do. I'm not sure. Adeola, what does she do? I'm not sure what she does.
She is into climate change and sustainability.
Oh, so Emeka is your person. People are speaking the same language.
Yes.
Okay, that's good. So you should definitely connect with Emeka. Emeka that is his language too. That is his own thing. So please make sure you connect. Feel free, Dorcas, feel free to reach out to me. Yeah, I saw your message. Please, if I don't respond to you, tell me on my comment section. That's a very, very fast way to reach to me. Just tell me something in any of the comment section, especially of my recent post. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Adeola. We are honored to have you on our show. We look forward to having you again. Good luck with your TIBA planning. When is it? When is the big event?
November 15th.
Oh, wow. That's 10 days from my birthday. Wow. That's around our own conference.
Yeah. Yes.
And yours is an in-person event, right?
Yes, the physical
event. I don't want to imagine how much work goes into the Lord is your strength. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye.
So I'm going to end with just playing our video so that we just close the show.
Success begins with the right guidance and opportunities. And at Scholar Up Mentoring Academy, we are here to help you unlock your full potential. Whether you're preparing for graduate school applications or building a standout professional presence on LinkedIn, we provide the tools and support you need to thrive. Our programs are designed to help you craft a compelling personal brand, position yourself for global opportunities, and achieve your dreams. Led by Dr. Amaka Ifaduba, a dedicated mentor and coach, Scholar Up empowers you with personalized mentoring, actionable resources, and proven strategies to take bold steps toward a brighter future. Scholar Up Mentoring Academy is more than a program. It's a community dedicated to helping you succeed. Take the first step today and discover how we can guide you on your journey to greatness. Follow our page for updates and access all our resources at linktree.com/scholarupacademy. Your success story starts here.
Okay, thank you everyone. Sorry we went over 5 minutes with the time we want to keep at, but still all good. The conversation was very, very sweet and the energy was high. Thank you for keeping up with the chat. Thank you for reposting. Thank you for joining us. We have our graduation coming up next week. Can you imagine? Cohort 14 has ended again. If you want to join our LinkedIn Elevation program, feel free to do that. It's a monthly program. We always start at the beginning of each month. So feel free to join our program. Reach out to me, reach out to Dr. Augusta, reach out to Emeka, reach out to me mainly on my content, on my comment section. I see that is easiest for me right now. I really have backlog. I've just been in the middle of a bit of craziness, so it's hard for me to keep up. Thank you so much for coming, Dr. Augusta. Thank you for being here as usual. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you're joining from. See you.